This is Leonardo's pen and ink drawing of the Vitruvian Man. This comes from one of the many notebooks that he kept on hand during his mature years. It is accompanied by notes written in mirror script on the ideal human proportions that Roman architect Vitruvius laid out on a book architecture from the 1st century BCE. The drawing illustrates Vitruvius' theory that the ideal human could fit within a circle and a square, two irreconcilable shapes. Leonardo resolved the concept by drawing a male figure in two superimposed positions, one with his arms outstretched to fit in a square and another with his legs and arms spread in a circle. The work shows not only Leonardo's effort to understand significant texts, but also his desire to expand on them. He was not the first to illustrate Vitruvius' concepts, but his drawing later became the most iconic, partly because its combination of mathematics, philosophy, and art seemed a fitting symbol of the Renaissance. Martin Heidegger. Martin Heidegger has three concepts. First, ontology, or the nature of being. Heidegger was interested in what he considered to be the fundamental question of philosophy. To be a human being is to understand. This does not mean that human beings have perfect understanding. Humans misunderstand a great deal, but there is a need for humans to try to understand what they are interacting with. Human beings are defined by their relationship with the world. In this way, they have an active being that Heidegger calls the Sinn. The term is famous one when dealing with Heidegger's philosophy, but it only means the essential being as humans experience it, meaning a state of being that interacts and understands the world around it. The Sinn. For Heidegger, the understanding of being was referred to as existentiality. Facticity was the mood or state that one brought to their interaction. While interacting with or experiencing anything, there was always a mood or state that we are in. This comes from our past interactions, moods, or state, and is subjective to us. Heidegger considered humans in a state of them by themselves as being authentic. What being an authentic state of the Sinn would mean is being independent of the influence of collective society. Heidegger referred to the collection of being of society as das Man, and when a person becomes submerged within the value of society, they are falling, giving up the authenticity of their own Sinn in favor of blending with the herd and more easily interacted within society. Heidegger considered this an inauthentic way of being. Next, technology. Heidegger was concerned about the role of technology in human development and the ability and technology has to affect the being of human race. Heidegger makes the point that the development of technology has defined eras and how beings live. Despite the fact that man creates these technologies, they fundamentally alter his perception. The changing of our perception due to technology, Heidegger refers to as inframing. What is a piece of art and why do you consider it a good representative piece of art form assigned to your group? Because it reveals how science technology started and that even today it is still widely used. It can be said that this is a breakthrough in the form of art. We can consider Heidegger's The Sinn, the authenticity of this art by Leonardo da Vinci, the authenticity, facticity, and falling into being. The values are all given. How does art piece reveal the face of human person in midst of science and technology? It shows not just literally but also the concept where science and technology started and gradually forms the basis of theories in the art and architecture. Today, it is widely used in medicine, fitness, and health. Think of a pressing and timely science and technology issue. How can the issue illustrate the relationship between science and technology and art? How can art guide modern technology in order to limit its excesses and become revealing in the sense of poiesis? The pressing issue in today's society is the COVID pandemic. Through Vitruvian Man's involvement, we can maximize the potential of science, technology, medicine, and art. Today's Vitruvian is widely used in the medical field in the form of art. For example, the skeleton props in school where students start to learn about the human body. In the medical field, we can see this through doctors and scientists who study further the human body wherein it is used in acupuncture, the 3D props where we can see the veins, internal organs, and even the layers of skin, and even in fitness and health. Through that, we can see where the problem arises, what they affect, and how can we rectify them. The pressing issue we can see is that the symptoms of coronavirus targets the lungs, and through that we found out how we get affected, and we get affected through the intake of air in the mouth and nose. Some say even in the eyes. With the illustrations of Leonardo da Vinci, wanting to understand further the human body, we benefit in science, technology, and art of today. It is also how we can limit excesses and become a revealing in a sense of poesis. Thank you, and that's all.